Hi, I'm Donna. Welcome to Gab and Gammy. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to name this episode, but we're going to start it off with some yarny stuff because that's our favorite thing. I've had a bit of squirrel syndrome this week. Normally, past few months, I've had two projects going. I've had my granny squares, and I've had whatever project I'm working on. So I've been pretty monogamous. But this week, oh, have mercy, I've had squirrel syndrome so bad. Uh, I haven't ever got around to showing any of my granny squares, uh, doing the season of the granny, but this is my year of the granny. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I've been working on this past week. This is for my purple blanket. This is a wine color. It's a Nicole brand yarn. Let's see, I've got a full one here. It is deep wine. It's the Stitch Studio. I can't get it clear, but Stitch Studio by Nicole. And that yarn is hanging out in my owl bag. This is by, on Etsy. Her shop is Southpaw Creations. And she's got a YouTube channel. It's Gimme Yarn 148. Her name is Erin. Oh, I just love her and Kristen to death. And I had to have some of her bags, so I mostly got her bags. And Marlisha, isn't that just the most awesome thing? Wish I had more owl bags, but being a hooker on a budget and on disability, I just can't buy that many. But I did buy a few, and that's one of my favorite ones. I did working on some cotton projects this week. I knitted a dishcloth, and my cotton is hanging out. This is Gimme Yarn 148 in her medium bag. That was a large, and that was a large. I just love this little black sheep right there. But that was, I think this was the first bag I ever bought, ever, anywhere. And I really enjoyed that bag. It belongs over here. And I've been inspired to, I was going to say create, but it's writing new patterns, designing, that's the word, designing. And I've got a design going. I'm not going to show it to you, but it is in my Molly bag. This bag is also from Southpaw Creations, Gimme Yarn 148, Erin. And this is her dog, Molly. She's a burner. Oh, she's so gorgeous and just has the sweetest personality. So when this bag came up in her shop, I just had to have it. I love me some Molly. And what else have I been working on? Oh yeah, right here they are. This was a bingo square. It was create a hand towel for your bathroom. And so I made this, and I thought I'm going to make a smaller one, or I might make a larger one and use this. With my arthritis, I like to soak in a hot bath at night. It helps ease the pain so I can go to sleep some. So that's what I'm going to use this for. I'm going to hang it. I'm going to put it on the back of the tub so my back doesn't get so cold. And then I'm going to either use this one as a dish or hand towel and make another one for my back, or vice versa. I haven't decided yet. And then I've been making hats, which is usually one of my projects. I make a lot of hats. Like I said, I make them for Levine's Children's Hospital. I haven't made any blue hats this week, but I've got some blue yarn back there. I just found when I was looking for something else. So I'm going to be making a few blue hats. But I did make a purple hat. This was leftover yarn. No, wait. Yeah, this was leftover yarn from my granny blanket. It wasn't enough to make a Might have been enough to make a square. Well, anyway, it's some leftover purple I had, and if you notice, it's in a granny square. And I believe it was Bob Wilson 123. Just look up a granny square hat on the YouTube search, and I believe she's the one that had this tutorial. And I really enjoy making granny squares, so I really enjoy making a granny square hat. And then in my normal, this is my normal hat pattern, and this is also a Nicole brand yarn. It is Stitch Studio Nature. There we go, Stitch Studio Nature. This yarn isn't available no more unless Nicole goes with somebody besides AC Moore. And this is Acorn, is the colorway. I just love this color. I didn't buy more because it's a bit fuzzy and kind of hard to frog back. So I've got a roll. I think I've got one more skein of this. I wish I'd bought more because it is pretty, pretty, pretty. I just love that color. And then I decided that I wanted to, just for a change of pace, to do a double crochet beanie. So I used the same yarn for my double crochet beanie, and I used the front post, back post. I was practicing that stitch. So that's what I used for this one. I'm tempted to keep it for myself, but I'm going to donate it. And then I had some pretty gold. That's not, the color just isn't showing up good. That's fairly close right there. It's a mustardy gold color. I don't usually gravitate toward those yellows and oranges much, but I had that in my stash, so I decided to use it. And then my regular beanie pattern with the red. This is a Red Heart Super Soft, and it's one of the darker reds. That just blew out completely. It's one of the darker reds, and I really like that red. I wish it showed up on camera better. And then I had some orange in my stash, so I made another double stitch beanie. Yep, I made another double stitch beanie using a double crochet, but this is just regular. It doesn't have the front post, back post double crochet. And then I made another granny. This is another color I don't gravitate towards, but it is pretty. It's a variegated yarn. It's got some purples, a reddish, and then a orangish color. Back. I want to work on that design I was telling you about some more. Fiber Spider came out with a filet shawl, and I'm thinking about putting my design in that, but then again I might keep with what I had. I just want to make a few changes to it to make what the pattern a little more visible. This goes down here. Oh, okay. Talking about my granny squares, I wanted to show you one of the blankets. I made this blanket last year. It's going to be way too big to show, but you'll get the general idea. It's just shades of blue. There you go. Just shades of blue. And then I've got another one I made last year. It was uh-oh. I just noticed I didn't finish that row. I'm going to have to go back and fix that. Oh, I thought I'd finished that row, but I guess I hadn't. I've got more blue yarn, so I'll just go ahead and fix that. Another little squirrel that came across my path is Fiber Spider. I was looking, come up on my YouTube feed. It's a shawl by Purple Iguana called the Rivulet Shawl. and he has a tutorial on it. So I went ahead and followed the tutorial just this morning, and he's using a color change yarn, but I'm just using scraps. Oh, I love me some scraps, so every time I get a chance to use them, I will. And Marlisha, if you look at the way it's built, it kind of reminds me of the build of the forest floor shawl. That's knitted, that Talia makes a lot. So if you want to compete, maybe you could look up this pattern. It's like I said, it's on Ravelry. I haven't looked to see if it's anywhere else, but like I said, Fiber Spider does have a tutorial on it, and he walks you through the whole thing, so you can kind of guesstimate from what he shows you how to finish the shawl. And I found that really enjoyable. There is just enough variant in it to make it interesting and keep it from being boring. So I'm looking forward. I'm going to work on that some more this week, along with my hats. And seems like I made some more stuff, because I was flipping back and forth. I've been wanting to, a lot of my yarn's been wanting to be knitted here lately. Oh yeah, that's it. And the yarn that I've got to tell you, it was the Comfy Cotton by Lion Brand, Comfy Cotton blend, and the colorway, I think it's Chai Latte. So Marlisha might like the name of that. Let me get my seam up closes on. Yep, Chai Latte. And I started making just a regular old washcloth. I got it all. I lost interest in it because another squirrel come along. But I got to put that in my bag. And haven't made that many yarn bingos this month. Just a lot of them just don't, the squares just don't spark my interest. I'm not really into spring, although it's possible I might make one or two spring dishcloths. I won't make all three to get that square. I've been more interested in doing my granny squares. I've made a lot of those this past week. Well, actually, I'm running late, so it's been almost 2 weeks, about 10 days since my last yarny video. Okay, that's something else. Speaking of my last yarn video, I wanted to talk about, I'd planned on editing my phone call out, where I'd paused it and it kept going without me realizing it. And then I decided I want this to be a raw look at my everyday life, so that when my grandchildren are grown and they go back to spend some time with their Grammy, they can see what stuff really went on, what it's really like. So I probably won't be editing too awful much. I'll just leave stuff in, and that's just something that makes me happy, so my grandkids can get a real look at what went on. Something else that makes me real happy is that normally I wear pajama pants and leggings a lot, and I wanted to show off this. Isn't that the cutest thing? It's a llama. These are my llama pants. I got them at Christmas time, and I'm really enjoying that. I wish I had more llama stuff, but a little bit here and there as it comes up. Speaking of, I haven't made many vlogs, but I have made a couple of tutorials. The other week I put out one on the foundation single crochet, and then this past week I put out a companion video for the foundation half double and the foundation double stitch, and I showed a little trick in there to where when you make your chain, you hold on to it and then you finish your stitch, so you know where you can go back into. Because when I first started, I kept losing that stitch, And Z said she had that problem too, so I'm hoping that that video will help her out. Um, and then I met with my real life granny gang this past week, and my friend Paulette, hey Paulette, I showed her a stitch that I'd been using. It's I called it the chainless double crochet, and also the elongated double crochet. And what it is basically is at the beginning of a row or at the beginning of the round, it's an alternative to the chain 3. It looks just like a double crochet, so if you want to check that video out, go ahead and give her a look. It'll be out on Tuesday of this coming week. I believe it's on the 17th is when it comes out. I've got it scheduled. I didn't want to put them out right close together. And I probably will be putting out quite a few tutorials because, like I said, my friend Paulette, uh, she's like a lot of us will know a stitch good as it can be, but as you get older, then squirrels are quite frequent, and you'll kind of not you'll know it, but you'll not quite know it, not be sure of what you were doing before. So a lot of times she'll text me or call me and ask me, well, how did that go? And so we talked about it, and she subscribed. She had already subscribed to my video, but we talked about me putting out more instructional videos so that she can go to my channel right quick and look under my tutorials and find what she needs. So I'm most definitely going to be putting out a pattern for my beanie. It's just a very simple double crochet, not double crochet, half double crochet beanie with a couple of single stitches at the end. The first row and the last 2 rows are single stitch, and the rest of them are half double, because my other Granny Gang member, Sandy, that's her favorite stitch. So that's why I chose that to be the pattern that I shared with the Granny Gang to make the hats for Levine's Children's Hospital. Okay, so I will be putting out that, and I'm still considering putting out a tutorial. Then again, I may not, because it's on my blog, how I made the Catch 'em All hat, which is Pokemon inspired. It looks like a Pokeball. But then again, you can go on Ravelry, and there's patterns there, and there's probably patterns elsewhere on the internet. I don't put my patterns on Ravelry no more. I just didn't like they had a policy, and they broke their own policy with a new thing they came out with, and I just don't think the yarn community should be into politics. If they would have outlawed all politics, the patterns and talk on the site, I'd have stayed with them. But they singled out a group, and I just didn't like that. They're supposed to be a very inclusive group, and my own private policies is, I was born and raised Christian, and I have my own way of doing that. I'm not crazy about formal religion, because Satan's informal religion so bad. Anytime you have hate speech against anybody, that's Satan working in your heart. It's not the Lord. His thing is love. You love everybody. You let God judge other people's sin. You don't do it yourself. I'm not going to judge you if, no matter what your stance is, no matter who you are. I'm just going to love you anyway. And that includes the what do they call it? The LB lesbians, homosexuals, gay, bisexuals, gender identity people. I wish I knew the proper terms, but my mind just went blank. It doesn't matter how you see yourself. As long as you're loving other people, I'm going to love you back. Because that's the second most important commandment in the Bible, is to love others, or love your neighbor as yourself. And I considered the whole world my neighbor. And Jesus, he hung out with the sinners, and he loves you no matter who you are, no matter what other people say about you. As long as you got love in your heart, he's going to love you back. And even if you don't believe in him, he'll still love you too. I hope I don't lose any subscribers because of that stance, but I had to say it because it saddens me to see some religions, how they're just so hateful against people who are different. It shouldn't be that way, and I'm not going to condone anybody doing that. Even if I love them anyway, I'm not going to condone it. Mine went blank again. Oh yeah, also showed on my my tutorial that isn't up yet, my bracelet. It says, oh, it's blowing out. Got a hair on it. It says, love one another. That's a little bit better look. Love one another. And that's the best policy to have. If everyone behaved that way, the world would be a better place. Blank. But still, it's raw. It's just how things are. I haven't got a whole lot done in my room, but I did get a little bit. Oh yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about my granny squares. I only had those few out where I can show. But I've got one of my blankets is shades of pink and variegated with pink in it. And then I've got another one, like I just showed you, shades of purple. My pink one is 5 rows with a 6.5 K hook. And my purple one is 7 rows with a 6.5 K hook. And then my other blanket and a third, they're also 5 rows with a K hook. And they measure about 6 inches. And that's just scraps. I love my scraps. Some of them are solid. Some of the squares are solid. Some of the squares are 2 or 3 different colors. Because I don't really have enough of one color to do anymore other than the 2 I have. And I'm probably going to have to buy some more purple. I got my pink one done. I had to buy yarn for that. And I'm working on the purple. I've got 2.5 more skeins. I'm not sure that'll be enough. I've got one more. It's actually this color here. Get those hairs out of the way. I just shed all over everything. I wish it could show better, but that's a little bit better. It's got pink and gray and a little bit of purple in there too. So I've got some more of that. I may use that in my purple blanket, but I'm not really positive that's what I want to do yet. I'll play it by ear, cross that bridge when I come to it. Blank again. Well, I'm not going to bore you just sitting here looking at me think. So I think I'll go ahead and let you go. As usual, please subscribe, share my videos, help me grow my channel a little bit, because I got a couple new subscribers, and I'm really happy about that, and I'm going to enjoy getting to know you. Leave a comment. I'll reply to you. I'll read it, and I'm just going to love on you anyway, because that's just how I do. say hey to Marlisha. She mentioned me again on the on her podcast, the Pin Hook and Needles, with her daughter Talia Fernandez. The channel name, although their podcast is Pin Hook and Needles, the actual name you go to subscribe is Talia Fernandez. It's a mother-daughter duo, and I just enjoy their interactions as mom and daughter. Talia, don't interrupt your mom. I had to take sides because I'm the mama too. I love you, Talia. I also wanted to. Well, I did want to say something else. Can't remember. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk just a tiny bit more about the hashtag Hat Not Hate campaign by Lion Brand. If you are interested in finding out more about it, to find out like the sizes and the drop-off points, you can go to hatnothate.org on the internet. And you can also check out Crystal on Bag a Day Crochet. She had the original video where she's wanting to support it, and I got to praise her for that. That's what got me started, where I learned about it. And she also has a video where she talked to the creator of the Hat Not Hate campaign, and they answered some questions there. So check out Crystal, Bag a Day Crochet, and if you want to know more about it, or just go to Lion Brand. With the website hatnothate.org or hatnothate.com, hatnothate.org. One of the two. Try it out, and one of them will take you there. The thing I found interesting, she said there's some drop-off points. So I haven't been to the site yet, but I'm going to see if there's somewhere where I can drop off my hats, because sending them through the post would be a little bit too expensive for my fixed income. But if I can get them to them at a drop-off point somewhere within an hour or two of where I live, I definitely will be sending them. If they don't, then I will. They will probably go to Levine's with I'll write a little note telling about the Hat Not Hate campaign, and I'm sure Levine's will appreciate that if that's where my hats end up. I want to say a thank you to my son, because he watches my videos, and when there's something that's just a little bit different, like he told me I had a broken link on one of my videos, so I went and I fixed that, and he's been talking about me. I've got one or two from his friends, so hey y'all, glad to see ya. Madam's mama, and Crystal, if you ever watch one of my videos, I love you to pieces, and I look forward to maybe seeing you one day. Just whatever the Lord works out, we'll walk with that. And okay, I think that was the last of it. I want to I've already asked you to share and like and subscribe. So I'll leave you with my wish for you. May your yarn remain untangled. And remember to love each other and be kind. Bye-bye.